That's where mercy met truth. There are other objects in this cave. On the floor, near the stone case, 7 oil lamps were found. Lamps such as this one. Now, an interesting thing about these lamps is that there is soot on one side of them. It would have been impossible for Jeremiah and his men to come through the tunnel system that Ronn entered. After all, they did not have much time with the Babylonian soldiers at hand. And of course there would not be sufficient space through such a tight tunnel complex to carry the items. There just had to be another way in. And then these lamps were discovered on the ground very close to the stone case. They all had the soot in the same direction, and the soot extended onto the stones beside the lamps. And that showed that there had been a breeze coming from the opposite direction. And that breeze must have been through the original entrance to the cave. And so a probe was made of the cave wall. And there was found to be a false wall of stones. And behind that there was a tunnel. Turning to the left, the tunnel was blocked after a short distance with stones to the ceiling. Again, in the opposite direction, it was blocked after just a few feet. Those men who hid the treasures had been careful to ensure that the chamber would not easily be found. And so, friends, after some time, subsurface interface radar was brought into play. And there was found a cavity extending outside the city wall of Jerusalem from the vicinity of Solomon's Quarry, sometimes called Zedekiah's Quarry. As far as could be determined, it ran along about 20 feet, about 6 metres under the ground, in the direction of Skull Hill. And when entrance is eventually made again into the chamber, this will be the way it is done. And if anything ever comes out of this cavern, that should be the way it will come out. Mary Nell, Ronn's wife, is here seen crouching at the entrance to the tunnel.
Now, what I wanted to point out to you here is in front of me you see some large stones that are blocking an entrance into a chamber. Now, in order to conceal the chamber, they couldn't just block the chamber entrance itself. Otherwise, this would call attention to it. So they put up a veneer that went around the escarpment some distance, and this would at least confuse anybody that was looking for an entrance and perhaps make them believe that the stone veneer was there for some other reason. Now, this wall here was put up very hastily. They have had mortar back to Babylonian and pre-Babylonian times, and this wall, as you will see, instead of mortar, they used some red clay. Now, this tells us that they did all of this in quite a hurry. So, given all of this information and the fact that I was in a chamber in this general location, however, it is a little confusing once you crawl around through these tunnels to try to keep oriented if you don't have a compass on you. All right, now, as we're down here with a lot of debris over us, quite enough to bury us, and some future archaeologists, if time lasts long enough, would find our remains. That is too much vibration down in this area and would trigger earth slides, which we have experienced several of. So we're going to close this operation down at this point in time and go back and get some metal framing material or shoring material to shore this up so that we can come in here and do this reasonably safely.
Okay, Randy, what do you think of the situation there?
I think we got a deep hole we're working in. We're hoping for success soon. We're praying for it.